Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here, sharing your most precious asset with me, and that is your time. Welcome to the Crypto Liver Show, baby. Check, 1 2 1 2. I'm back in the home studio. Can you believe it? Back in sunny Florida, August 7th, 10:15 in the morning. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here. Seems like I'm peaking a little bit here. Hopefully everything's going the right way. I don't want to make sure I'm too overboard on the gain. Let me double check I don't have like too much gain on. Always something, man. Always something over here. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here. Sharing your most precious asset with me, and that is your time. We're going to break down Bitcoin. Oh, I was just playing with you. We're going to break down Bitcoin like we do every single day here. Let me pop up the chat, see what's happening in the chat. How my people doing, and how we doing, man? We're here. Back to green screen, baby. Back how it always was, man. Back at it again, baby. Back home. The go to Sarasota over here, baby. Shout out to my beautiful people. Last night, I gave a trade in the Discord. I was up till 2:55. I flew home. I felt like I hadn't done enough. I had to give you a call. I was like, Sammy's got to come through. The everyday hitter never quit. I got to come through with the punch and give it to you strizzate. Audio was perfect to begin with. Thank you so much for saying that. So I could peek a little bit, and it's all gravy. Thank you so much, Jamie. God bless you, brother. So nice to see, almost hear your voice, but see your typing. I hear you when you type, though. I hear you. Sam, the audio is great, man. So we take we take a look here at what's happening. And dude, it was the first time I had the travel studio. I had the right mixer and everything. We had our jokes, everything was going well. So anyway, last night I put out this trade to the trading group. I just put out a take profit, and I'm about to actually take some gains. It's close. Maybe we get a bounce. I'm like right at the zone, and I'll show you what time frame I'm using to figure that out. But we're going to break down kind of another concept and some other ideas. But this one was interesting. I front ran my signal on the one hour, but I saw other things on the way. Bang, bang, bang. Bitty bitty Bitcoin. Bitty bitty Bitcoin. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you. Thank you for the suit color comment. Always someone nice here saying something amazing. Screen looks great. Thank you, man. I love y'all, man. Thank you so much. God bless you. I think I forgot the tip jar throughout the entire time, right? There was no tip jar the entire time. I think I forgot it. I think I completely forgot the tip jar, right? Man, I don't think I saw it I think I forgot to put it up. So crazy, man. It hits me. I didn't remember it the entire summer. I guess I had a good summer, man. I attempted to take my mind and enjoy the summer, which I did. Shout out to giving 20 memberships, and that's, of course, the most reliable guy in the game, Reliable J. And the top fans today. Wow, Reliable J ain't even in the mix. They must not do memberships, but Reliable J should be top. But we got Mad B always holding me down. Fly Trout, getting that trout fly fishing, I'm guessing. We got Plague Dogs, Dave Roy, and the top 5, CPD, Bellhead. God bless you all. Cherry City Bullies coming in there with a hard 7. Bellico X always holding me down. Mr. Butters, Mr. Flawless, Reliable J, there you are. CJ. What's up? CJ TV. We got 2 CJs over here. Hey. So, are we about to bounce on the 3-minute time frame in a bit of a little flag here? I'm playing it close to the bone. There's a chance this does give us a bounce. Open this up here and give us the move to the upside. I'm here live trading on BitNX. Opened the trade last night at 2:55 in the morning. About to close $400, $389. We'll see if we can continue this move, though. Wow, I may be able to stay in. I got my stop loss in heavy profit. No way I can lose the trade. That was the entry. There's the stop. There's the take profit. Let's see if we can pinch this puppy for more gains. 116,419. How do we get into the trade? It's one thing to show a trade. It's another thing to show and teach someone how you maneuvered in, how you made it happen, how you were able to find your way inside the trade. That is the true key here. That's what separates this channel from everyone else's channel, in my humble opinion. We show the exact entries. We teach exactly how I do it. I do it live all the time. Hey, I can't be live every single day, though, so here I am. Last night, look, I got into my house. Water damage in my beautiful home. Look at this. It split the wood because it came in, and it seemed like my AC usually fills up this vent, but it seemed like it came on the outside here and then seeped outside. It was like a filter that was dripping somewhere. Something is happening on the low here, and it's damage. Water damage. You come home to water damage, man, after 2 months. So, and it looks like it just started, though, so thank the Lord. But I don't know, man. It could have been on and off, too. I don't know exactly what happened. So good to get back home to the home studio. This is the home studio, if you didn't know. And it's so good to get back home to the home studio. God bless everybody here hanging out. I got my 6 monitors. I got the clearest audio in the game. But anyway, you can hear me talking in the background. I couldn't believe it. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. I share my whole life in the Discord. Well, not all the time, though, you know. So yesterday we looked at a flag on the 7-minute at 1:40 p.m. I had to travel all day. I said nothing burger. I didn't make a trade. I didn't give a trade. No trade alert. No nothing, right? Landed. I can still post more games, hopefully, for years to come, God willing, right? Back home. And then at 2:55 in the morning, after I'm dealing with water damage and insanity, I see what's happening here. At 2:55 in the morning, I see that we're in a beautiful flag on the 1 hour time frame. The stochastics are curving up, and we're about to pump. MACD, RSI, stochastics, the cup and handle type vibe, and I see that's about to pump. And I put a trade out to the trading group. I say bang, and I give you guys a link, so you can hit the link. It shows you the entry, which is the blue, and then it shows you a stop loss, which was green. The stop loss, which is that red right there, 114.364, and it shows you the take profit at 118.774. And if we take a look at what happened to that move, I mean, there it is. So there was your entry there last night at 2:55 in the morning. So what other trading group guy, after flying home with his family, is up at 2:55 in the morning, making sure that you don't miss? Then he's back in at 7:30. How? Did the guy sleep? When did he sleep? The guy posted at 2:55. He's back in at 7:30. Is he a bot? Is he AI? What is he doing? How does he do this? And no, it's not a bot. It's not AI. I swear on my life. I promise you on my life, it's me. I'm relentless when it comes to keeping you in the game. You know what it is? I'm such a loyal person. The Aries is the most loyal sign. You've paid $99. That's loyalty. So you've stepped up and showed me that you want to be in the group for $99 a month. You've put your hard-earned money. You have kids. You have a wife. You put your hard-earned money towards my lifestyle, towards my ideas, towards bang, Sam's business. I'm going to pay $99 in Sam's life. I'm going to join Sam's life, join the $99. I'm going to bust my butt to make sure you don't miss. I'm going to do everything I can to keep it pushing. All right? Every single time. The bot lives forever. So here's the idea, right? So last night, 2:55 in the morning, I give the call, 1 hour time frame. I enter the trade on Bitfinex. That trade's still cooking to this day. You see what I'm saying? And other trades too as well if you want to make a bigger in. And sometimes I make bigger trades. I don't have to show everyone all the gains because I don't want to be rude. But that is a beautiful pump to the upside. A little bit of bearish divvy now. We're away from the 21-day moving average. Yay, okay. But now we're back above 115.5, and that was so key. We're now going to show you the top-down analysis that we do every day. I know I'm jumping the gun here and just kind of showing you what's happening on these smaller time frames, but I had to pat myself on the back for giving a perfect entry last night at 2:55 in the morning. I mean, come on now, right? And then boom, 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 boom. I move my stop loss to break even on these, and every time a trade gets above the 200 moving average and can still be in it, good chance you can continue to win this trade. I wouldn't be surprised if we definitely go to 118.8 before we go below the 200 moving average on the 1 hour time frame. So this is bullish to me. I don't know about to you, but to me, this is very, very bullish. And I could technically move my stop right back to break even and just hovel, or I can make sure I make gains. See, that's the key now. We're starting to kind of level off. Looks like we may be able to hold, but if you move it up, you guarantee a win. You see what I'm saying? We can always get back in another flag later on. That's how I trade. Because look, that could easily just dump and then you make nothing. It could easily stop hunting me too and then continue to pump. It could do both. I'd be happy with anything that happens other than a loss. You see what I'm saying? And be grateful. And I know if I stay in habitual gratitude, somehow, some way, I'll continue to change my life in a positive way with each and every one of you here on the live. And I appreciate everyone that was with me during this amazing summer. I traveled back to Massachusetts. I had a blast with the family and the kids. It was awesome, and I just want to say, I'm so grateful for everyone that kicks it with me. And the summer wasn't easy to be trading. It was ups and downs, but there was a lot of Bitcoin gains to be had. Let's be honest. If you missed out on the entire summer, you missed out on some of the most, on historic moves for Bitcoin. Biggest moves in Bitcoin's history, really, technically ever. So, I mean, wow. That's for Bitcoin. That's for everyone that believed, that stayed with their conviction. that had the sauce and the thoughts to stay inside. You know, I'm going to take profits here. I'm going to show you guys how not to be afraid. Take profits no matter what. Move that stop loss so close that no matter what, like, I want to sell. You see? Close my long. And then if this kind of stays at a flag, I'll trade it again. Let me set up the trade now. And trade it again. It looks like it may dump on us. So we don't know, though. I don't know what's going to happen. I know nothing. All I know is that if I keep taking profits, I won't goes brokes. I won't goes a broke, right? We're turning this 800 into 38. I mean, this thing is just continuing to grow. We've hit almost every trade I've shown you on BitTinex in the last 6 days. Let's go over kind of the miraculous nature of this channel. Let's just, you know, because people are forgetting here. Bullish divergence here. That was the double bottom on the 1 minute time frame. Wasn't that Monday morning where I called this bottom and I made the trade in front of you right here? Don't you remember when I made the trade right here in front of you and we called the bottom? I believe that was Tuesday morning. Okay? Bang. Right? And we called this bounce and bang. It's insane. But I made that trade live with you. It got above. We sold somewhere in the local top, 114. Remember, I sold 114, 134. So somewhere right here, I sold this local top. It came back down. Remember, we called this flag yesterday on the live stream. Remember, we traded this on the 15-minute, and we all made massive gains in the pump. I rolled the stop loss up and took profits in there, and then it went up a little more, came back down. Last night had a massive pump. I gave this call last night, so let me just make this really clear. Like, I got in here on the live and called the double bottom. I then gave you this trade yesterday on the 15-minute that did amazing. I then at 2:55 in the morning gave yet another perfect entry for Bitcoin. How am I doing this? How am I so accurate? How does it look like a magician? 1, 2, 3, every single entry. I got in here, I sold there. I got in here, I sold up here. I got in here, I just sold right there. How am I doing this? How does it seem effortless? I'm using moving averages. Look how the 21 is touching price action here. That's a very bullish sign. 21, curving RSI, stochastics RSI, right? So this tells me that this could definitely be a flag that could continue further to the upside. It's also the game of cat and mouse. I mean, they've pumped it, they dumped it. There's usually late shorts to go after. So if I were to trade a gain, this is something I'm starting to look at too, is this flag on the 15-minute time frame. I'm looking for 3-to-1 risk-reward ratios. I use proper risk management. I move my stop loss into break even at every trade once I'm up. I don't play games with the outcome. I challenge the outcome by taking control. The key is to be in control. That way your emotions can't come up. If you have a system that you logically thought out through and you just do what you're supposed to do, no way emotions can come over it, right? I'm going to make a joke or an assimilation, but like every once in a while there's a guy or a girl. It could be a guy or a girl. So I don't want to pinpoint any sex. I'm just going to say, a person, and they don't want to be in a relationship and they know that person's bad for them. That person has displayed numerous inconsistencies and it hasn't been good. And they know if they keep it up, it's only going to cause them pain. But every time they go back to the person sweet talks them, something happens and they can, oh yeah, you know what? You're right. And they end up kind of, they never like, they're like, I see what you're saying, right? And that's kind of how trading goes. Like, if you go into that person saying, you know what, I'm going to go in, I'm not going to listen to what they say, I'm going to tell them it's over, I'm going to walk out, and that's it. I'm going to stick to the plan. And you go and you do that. If the second you let that person talk, start to kind of get into your head, you end up, you don't go with the plan. And when you don't go with the plan, emotions come in. And when emotions come in, you get emotionally wrecked, like in a relationship, like bang, right? But here's the deal. It's not that funny. I've been emotionally wrecked many times. But here's the deal. The whole wraparound of this, wraparound doesn't sound right. Well, the whole, when we come full circle, let's bring it back here. The whole point is, oh my gosh, it's too much. But the whole point of it all, right, when we break it down, is when we're trading, we have a plan and we stick to the plan. If we go against the plan, there's a good chance that we start using emotions and we can't fulfill the duties in which we said, it's kind of, and it's that I'm just going back to the metaphor that I just made with the relationship, right? So we have a relationship with trading, don't we? Yeah. And it's just like these relationships we have with people. You know, the way we feel, the way we talk to it. And we have our trade, and we're like, okay, I love you, trade. I want to be with you, trade. But seriously, it may sound funny, but I'm being serious. And how you feel about that trade has everything to do with how you're going to execute the trade and how you're going to manage it. Now, if you use emotions the whole time in all your decisions in life and relationships, it may not go that well, right? Some people suspect someone of cheating, but they're not. That person isn't cheating. It just looks that way from the outside, but if they deep dive it, they realize it's actually not that at all. And their emotions get crazy, and they might like break someone's car and say, I caught you, and they're like, I didn't, but that wasn't what happened. And they look back and like, dang, I never should have done that. It was an emotional decision, and it ruined, like, you know. So we don't want to use our emotions in life. We don't want to use our emotions in trading. Period. Okay? Just kind of how it works. Look at how this 3-minute flag could end up playing out to the upside. There's a chance here we could get a bit of a move. Interesting events here for Bitcoin. It looks a little bearish on the smaller time frames. I do like what I'm seeing on the 15-minute. 116,300 seems to be holding nicely on the 3-minute time frame. On the in the 15-minute too, in the 15. And still a bit of cat ears though, no? So let's slow down. I took profits. If you did too, God bless you. We continue to wreck shop. I'm trading BTC.C right now. I'm trading gold and the NASDAQ. NASDAQ decided to take a turn for the worst. We were up about $100, came back down. I just got stopped out for my first loss, about $120 in a while trading the NASDAQ. So I had a nice 15-minute flag on the NASDAQ, made a quick bearish div and got a pullback there. I did get stopped out. Looks like the NASDAQ may not go our way. Small stops, bigger gains, no fear. We turned $2,000 to 43.82. We'll be back to play another day. I got a gold call open up right now that's looking pretty on BTC.C, and that's just a really long-term call for gold. It's inside a beautiful flag, likely to break out of this long-term consolidation that it's in. Even right here, just when you look at gold right there, that looks beautiful to me on the 15-minute time frame. So I'm watching gold closely. I'm looking for a breakout. Once gold clears 3,400, gapping up to 34.39 right there for gold. So I expect that pop, and then I expect a continuation to the target there at about $3,500. Doesn't really matter exactly when, but it looks like it could happen somewhere by, the latest. I don't know. It says it could happen literally somewhere between the 11th and the 14th of August. No guarantees. I wouldn't say that's I don't guarantee anything in trading, but that looks, like a nice probable move. Gold's also in a bigger consolidation on the bigger time frame. This daily flag looks beautiful to me too. And so that's the similar idea here. So you got the smaller, and that looks like you'll consolidate and break out. That may take its time. And, that has a even more nicer measured move. This is on BTC.C. You can trade gold. You can trade the NASDAQ at Tech 100. You type here Tech 100, and you can trade the NASDAQ futures, right? And then you can also trade BTC.C. You can trade Apple, Amazon, all sorts of cool stuff with your tether right here on one of the oldest exchanges in the game, BTC.C. This exchange has been on for 14 years. So it's not, it's not a stranger to the game here. So BitNext, we took the trade. We sold. Might be a perfect local high here. 116,700 look nice. Let's deep dive Bitcoin as I kind of started backwards today with the hotness on the small time frames as we move back to the bigger time frame. First thing we're going to look at is our 2-week chart. All right, as we approach the first week of August, quarter 1 of August through, right? Q1 of August done. But I like it. Look at the 2-week chart. It has a beautiful support at $114,000. As long as this 2-week chart holds above $114,000, it's very similar to this low here at $100,800. Looking like we may get a beautiful hold. The 2-week chart is one of my favorite charts. Not many people use it. I've actually never seen anyone show it but me. I'm not saying I'm the greatest thing since sliced bread. I'm not saying no one else uses it. I just never saw it. I started using it on my own one day. It's my accumulation time frame. Whenever I accumulate Bitcoin, I go to the 2-week chart. I make sure the stochastics are super low, and I begin to buy more BTC. It's a very simple strategy, and I make sure when I'm doing it, the days that I buy the most, I make sure the fear and greed is at the lowest or comes to a very low point and takes a nasty dump into the faded region if possible. Oh my God, but anywhere between here and there, oh my gosh, Oh my gooshness. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, that's a great place to buy Bitcoin, don't you know, Bobby? But we like it. And even right here to the shaded region, that's a beautiful spot to buy some BTC. I had to buy Bitcoin. Remember, if you were on my channel and we go back to a year ago, February 10th, if I can remember the date. Oh, no, February 27th? Okay, yeah, February 27th. Oh, the free ingredients was this 10. I was like, why do I remember 10? February 27th, the fear and green index hit 10. That's when I bought Bitcoin. I said, we got to buy BTC in the fear. We got to buy more. I bought more in this dip. All these dips have prevailed over time. I did it not knowing if we were going to go lower or higher for a fact. I did it knowing that the probabilities were likely with me that we would get the move to the upside. So loveliness here for BTC. This flag looks like it may be playing out here on the 3-minute chart. 15 minutes starting to show signs of a possible move to the upside. So here's the deal. I am going to make another live trade here on the channel. I like what I'm seeing with this higher low. I like the bounce off the 21-day moving average. It's very high risk. It's a Thursday, not my favorite day to trade, but we've been kind of moving into these pumps. The take profit, we're going to be going for 119.403. I'm not saying we're going to get there for sure, but it's where we're going for. Anything above the entry is going to be a safe bet. A safe, not even, I don't like it, but it is going to be a safe play. Wow, we got the pump quicker than I desired. Now I feel like I'm chasing a little bit on the smaller time frame. 1,000 for 4,000. Smaller account, you don't want to go too hard and blow it up. You want to grow this one. We're about to cross our 4, That would be nice, 200, Let's take a look at our 5-minute for a second. Never feel like you have to do anything. 5-minute looks beautiful. 21 touching. 5-minute is showing the model. So the 5-minute should play out. You keep the stop loss below that 5-minute 200 moving average, it would be a lot better even, right? Somewhere there at like 115, 255 even. I don't know, 3 for 7, 8 ain't the best bet there. I'm not like, we got to go to 119. Yeah, you got to play this 15 and use this support of resistance right there. So that's what I'm going to be doing at 115.590. And see, I'm always going to find something that gives me a reason to make the stop. Like, I can't just come up with that out of nowhere. This is previous resistance here. So now I got support, right? Right at this line here. Resistance, support. I can snug my stop loss right about there. I'll say 636 here. Always cutting it odd. Always trying to snatch a little piece for, a little more edge here. We'll go 3 for 1,000. We'll go to the high 3s. 4 for, there we go. Nudge that up. We should limit in. Then there we go. When you hear the sound on BitConnect, you're in. Beautiful. Dude, I read it right. Right as I got in, we seem to get a pump here. 116,005. Let's take a look at BOOKMAP. BOOKMAP, desires 117.5 right there. I wouldn't be surprised if we start a short squeeze right now immediately. I seem to have this keen entry when these big moves start to happen. I just seem to enter. I don't know why. I've been noticing it now for the last few weeks, or last couple of years now. But on the smaller time frames, I'm pretty keen. I think your subconscious mind just gets really keen. Watch it dump in my face as I say that, right? Talking smack. But this looks good. The odds are pretty nice that I'm going to win this trade, and we've been nailing it. If you've been trading with me since Saturday, and I called the bottom there and that bounce, we've been doing great. So shout out to everyone that's jumped back into crypto, that wasn't demolished by the liquidations, that was able to keep their head on tight, get their emotions aside, and keep coming. This is what it's all about. I'm on no sleep. I slept, I think, for an hour. I was in the, urgent care this morning getting all this stuff for my ear. All right? I got ear pain. I got to have to put eardrops in. And, it is what it is. I'll make it. I had to fly with an ear infection. And, of course, it got worse. When you fly with an ear infection, what happens? It gets worse, man. But it is what it is, man. I got to fly around the world, baby. Shout out to Jamie. Can't wait. All I think about is Jamie in Singapore, holding Jamie's hand on that big Ferris wheel in Singapore as we go. No. Jamie's like, I get a resignation notice. Sam, I can't be a part of this. Shout out to Jamie. I love you, man. God bless you. I hope I made you laugh there. I don't know if I got you to smile. There's a chance. There's a chance I did. Did I make Jamie smile? Let's ask in the chat. We're going to make this a poll. And this is for the community. You guys know Jamie. Do you think I got Jamie to smile? Right? So we're going to ask a poll here. All right. Did I make Jamie smile? Like, I won't even be able to spell Jamie right? I think that's how you spell it. Now I gotta how to spell Jamie. I get I know things and then I forget them when I'm trading. It's weird. Yeah, it's J-A-I. Jamie. Yeah. Did I make Jamie laugh? Or at least smile? First answer is highly unlikely. Because that just sounds funny, right? Highly unlikely. Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe yes. It's funny too. And for sure, right? So did I make Jamie laugh or at least smile? Let me know in the poll. All right? Let me know. All right. Looking fresh today, brother. Jesus loves you. Goat. God bless you, man. Jesus loves you too. Jesus is king. Be humble. Help someone today. God bless Paul Wood. Thank you for the love, Paul. May God bless you, man. And honestly, Jesus is the way. God is the way. And the truth and the answer, man. Live a pious life. Go after helping others in somehow, some way. God will give you more than you've ever dreamed. Or exactly what you dreamed and more. You see what I'm saying? And every single day you're grateful. I'm going to tell you a secret of my life, man. And I learned this from Steve Harvey. Honestly, as funny as this may sound, but he said this in a short and I listened to it over and over again. And now I hear it all the time in my mind. But he says, and I'll do my best, Steve Harvey. I tell you, Sammy, you know what? Every day I'm grateful, Sammy. Every day that I'm grateful. Every single day that I'm grateful. I wake up the next morning. And something even more grateful comes into my life. You know what I mean? And so every time I'm grateful, the next morning, the next day, I find more gratitude. And honestly, it's because the mind becomes a recursor movement. Like you're basically I'm thinking of a washing machine but you're good at habitually finding what's grateful in your life. This becomes a habit, just like going to the gym. You see what I'm saying? And then the frequency, you basically become if you ever spin water or, and it starts to spin like that. And you can see the frequency of the water, right? And it starts to spin. Same idea with your ideas and thoughts. And they can spin in your mind and begin to fester and grow into something bigger. And they really create a momentum that can change your life forever, right? Anyway, so the 2-week chart looking absolutely beautiful after I went on an amazing tangent. But hey, I had fun. I hope you did too. And the show's about having fun. It's about expressing yourself. I'm expressing myself as a trader. I love to trade, so this is what I do. I'm letting the world know who I am, what I do, and how I do it. All right. Shout out everybody. Go to the gym, bro. You too, man. You train your mind 100%. Sound is all good. Still in the huddle. Zeno, don't smile. You guys are funny, man. No cap. Yes, go to the gym. Amen. Bounce, girl, bounce. Bitcoin, I don't know. Look at a little sketchy at that 350 area, right? So BTC on the 2-week chart looks really nice, like it's going to break out of a rising wedge to the upside. That candle can stay green on the 2-week. If we can hold above 114,000, we have ourselves a bit of a party, don't we there, folks? So what looked pretty bearish, maybe coming out on top here with this weekly candle coming back strong for BTC. So right now, Bitcoin showing signs of life that it could maybe even continue here in a bit of an ascending triangle on the weekly time frame. Get a bit of a bounce here. Even we take this wick to this wick, you can see that we did wick down to the Fibonacci golden pocket, almost to the 786, and we got a bit of a bounce. This candle, I just want to see it close just like this with a tweezer bottom. Here, anywhere in this vicinity, I'm good with. It can play around and go sideways for the next few days. It can do whatever it wants. As long as it closes green, I will take it. It'll be our first green weekly candle after that demolishing candle, and we can kind of begin to build. So I like what I'm seeing here. 3-day chart, second green candle in a row. And remember, we talked about this making a shoulder, a head, a right shoulder. We talked about the 3-day chart getting busy here and getting tight. Maybe it gets so tight that it's more like this. And we really, really hug this trend line and break out with such a vengeance. So I'm looking for some bullishness here for the 3-day. I'm looking for this whole thing to play out the way we talked about. Remember, I went over this and I said, when I called the actual bottom for sure, if you remember on Saturday that day, I called this bottom. If you were on the live stream, I said, hey, that's the bottom. We're bouncing from here. 4-hour bottom, right? We were like, that's your bottom right there. Came down a little bit, continued to pump. So far, we have been bouncing. Let's take a look at the daily, right? So the daily, what we're looking for is a complex inverted head and shoulder. Shoulder, shoulder, head, shoulder, shoulder. This looks more and more likely the more I deep dive BTC. Starts to kind of really look like this is what's going to come our way. Shout out to the 1,570 beautiful souls. Had you been in the trading group and gone to cryptolifer.com, QR code right up there, okay, you would have gotten the call tonight at 2 in the morning. Maybe you would even been able to wake up at 4 or 5 and seen it. The guy who never takes a day off, barely takes time off, is always grinding for you, man, and women, and lifers and life vets, everybody out there, showing you the love. But there, 2:55 in the morning, there's the call. Trade alert, 1 hour, Bitcoin. It has an entry, it has a stop loss, it has a take profit. I can never guarantee if it's going to hit the take profit, but most of the time it's going to get above that entry and pump, and then you got to figure out what you'd like to do with the gains. Either take them, stop loss to break even, and look at that beautiful pump to the upside of $2,000 move basically for Bitcoin. And that was 5 hours later at 7:22. No, 4.5 hours. 4 hours and 34 minutes later. Bang, bang, bang. And you can move the stop loss to break even. And then bang. Then we looked at this flag. This flag looks like it's kind of meandering at 116.3. And then we kind of were in the trade where we're at now. So I gave you the sauce at 3 a.m. I never played with either $99 a month, right? So just, I mean, if you're going to pay for a trading group, make sure the guy works as hard as me or harder. And I don't know if it's possible. I haven't taken a day off since February of 2021, and we keep pushing every single day. And I don't do it to brag. I do it to show you that if we really find God in our lives, if we push out all the negativity and we find discipline, we can go on streaks that we didn't think were possible. We can do miraculous streaks, Cal Ripken-like moves. You know what I'm saying? We can wow our family and friends with our consistency. The goal is to be so consistent that people think you're like superhuman, man. That's the goal. And consistency is a superhuman quote because 99% of the world has trouble being on point that much. They crumble. They can't match the intensity day in and day out. They try. Eventually something happens. It just doesn't seem, they don't have I was born by bricklayers and ironworkers, a different breed I am. I'm telling you right now, my dad was harder on me and his dad was even harder on him. And I'm still hard on my kids when to show them. I don't want them to be soft. I want them to think quick, to pick up on the details, to realize that they got to be able to push, important. My dad was hard on me, and you know what? I look back on it, thank God he was. He said, I'd rather you hate me as a kid than be your best friend, he used to say to me. Because you'll look back, what's funny? Your kid doesn't really hate you, but there's some times you're going to have to say your kid, hey, you can't do this. Like they're going to say your kid's overeating, and you can see that they're gaining weight. And next time you go somewhere, you're like, no, you can't have that. And you don't want to tell them they're fat, so you just say, no, you can't have that. Right? And they might get all pouty and pissed. But you got to make a decision as a parent to make sure that they're not getting getting unhealthy. So we have to make decisions, and your kid might hate, my dad made this statement. He's like, you can hate me when you're a kid, but you'll love me when you're older. Parents that don't discipline, what happens? It gets flipped on them. The kid gets older and says, my dad never disciplined me. And then they hate you for it. So they either yell at you now when they're young and love you later. But if you let them walk all over you now when they're young, they're going to hate you later and say, wow, my mom and dad never disciplined me. They're going to blame you for their bad habits. They're going to blame you. And yes, they should fix it. But, now they're in an uphill battle. You gave them something they have to fix instead of giving them the right path. So discipline is so key for your children, for everything in life, and for the whole movement. All right. And for, everyone in my trading group, it's really important we stay disciplined. Like I put what I was willing to lose. I see where I'm at. We either win or we lose. We stay with this, and we go from there. It is what it is. Like, no flip-flop, and just stay true to the game. And that's it. Be okay with whatever goes down. Go to MINOTAUR Systems with Crypto Lifer. We got a cool link here. Want you to check that out. And the reason is it's a bot that always trades for me. Bot is constantly trading, doing damage, and just doing its thing. So, absolutely love how the bot works and what it's done. It's made me 30% in a year of trading. You might not like my methods, but you'll love my results 100%. Yeah, exactly. So this thing will trade for you. I have it up here too right now. Okay, and now it's back in the money from that entry point at 114. It's still in a long. And when it finally sells its long, it's going to be a pretty big payday here on the trade. So we're waiting for this thing to get out on a long. And this is the MINOTAUR trading system here. And you can sign up with the Crypto Lifer link. Find out more. Book a call. Ask them questions. You'll absolutely love what they got to show you. Okay, so we did live trading on BitDNX. We took some gains. We're looking for our next trade that's open, but it's down a little bit. We could either bounce on out too or see what happens. We're going to see. I don't know. Right now, it looks like we're struggling at 116.3, but so far, so good. So let's move forward with the Bitcoin update. So the daily, the complex inverted head and shoulder starting to play out. We stayed true to our game. We kept showing up every day, and we eventually saw light at the end of the tunnel. Saw this as a possible double bottom yesterday. Remember this? You were with me when I showed this, right? Double bottom. See, double bottoms break up somewhere up to here, and I said that would be the point of control at 117.8. I don't know if you remember it, but you're having deja vu. It's because we said that yesterday. The 8-hour time frame, beautiful move to the upside. The 4-hour above the 200 moving average. I've seen the 4-hour do absolute damage here and continue to rip ski to the up ski. A nice long-term trade idea is just to wait for the 21 to get a little closer. High risk is to enter now. High risk is to enter now, but there's still a good chance you win. Lower risk is to wait for the 21 to get close or above the 200, enter the trade. But right now, this looks like Bitcoin could continue to move because it's above the 4-hour 200 moving average. Has to get back above that to show signs of some type of reversal or at least consolidation. For me, I wouldn't be surprised if we do something like this and we ride with the 200. Moving averages get tight. Boom. Somewhere August 20th, we front run the rate cuts because why not? They're not, Bitcoin's going to pump before the rate cuts. Because if everyone knows there's going to be rate cuts, someone on the inside is going to tell someone for sure. And we're basically, this has never been wrong. The CME Watch tool has never been wrong for me. I don't know about you. But in 41 days, we have our next Fed meeting. And this thing's never been wrong. And what it says is they're going to cut the rates for Shozy. For Shozy, baby. You know what I mean? Right now, we're current 425, 450. They're going to cut that thing to 400, 425, baby. Let's do it. 93% chance they cut that rate in September of 2017. So that is on the board. BOOKMAP suggests we dump. If you had to say for sure, and it's not 100%, but it does say, hey, we've got a bunch of liquidations back down at 113, 111,000. So, hey, just be careful. I know we're a little bullish today, but always be open-minded that anything is humanly possible. Maybe they scoop those lows again. It's looking unlikely to me based on my moving average theories, but anything is possible. See, look at the resistance at the 200 on the 12. But now, this is my model, which is kind of nice. So what I would do is I would almost do nothing, and I'm just going to wait on my bigger, on my weeks account, where I'm going to make a bigger trade, and we're going to wait for this to flag out and touch the 21-day moving average on the 1-hour time frame. And that's where we're going to execute the next bigger trade. Trading is about seeing it before it happens, planning it out, and then executing when it does. Seeing it before it happens, planning it out, and then doing nothing if it doesn't. It's not about forcing your emotions to trade because you feel you have to be in a trade. That's not trading. Okay? I'm sorry to bust your bubble if that's what you do. It does look like a full moon is coming, for sure. I see a giant full moon coming. The moon looks big already. And shout out to everybody here. Thank you for bearing with me through this ear infection I'm battling. 2 more days, 3 more days. I should be bright as rain. But then it stinks because I don't want to go in the jacuzzi. I can't get all that moisture near my ear. And I just got home. I'd love a night with a cigar and a jacuzzi over here. But hey, I'll have to earn it. We'll have to get some big wins here. Ape, that's what he said. Time traveler. Amen. Fed only drop rates when the economy is in trouble. And we got to probably in now, and so we can dump when he cuts. See the same pattern just took after the dump. Lots of lemon, bro. Yeah, so I'm looking for the 1 hour time frame to come back to the 200 to the 21. Looks like we may get a bit of a bearish move here back down. I think I was a little preemptive on my 15-minute call there. It still may play out over time, but I'm waiting for this 21 to come back to price. This would be beautiful. That says somewhere by 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock tonight, we could get the move to the upside. So I'd be looking for between 5 and 8 for an entry into Bitcoin. Looks like we got the pump sideways. Next pump to 119.5. When we get that close to 120K, FOMO is going to kick in again. All the people that said they were going to get in are going to start freaking out. They're going to say, dang, I should have bought it. The 104 dip, the 105, what was I thinking? And that's why whenever they see me, damn, that guy bought the low, like, dang, every time he buys the fear, and then it ends up paying out for him. And it's like, they get pissed, they get jealous, but they don't have the guts to stick to something. So this is what's going to happen. If you have the guts and the discipline to stick with something, people are going to hate on you. Like, look at my channel. You're going to grow and people are hating on you. And again, I don't focus on it. I focus on the love, and that's the point. But I'm just letting you know, if you stay consistent and really find discipline in your life, people are going to go, it's going to annoy a lot of peeps. They're going to be like, oh, yeah. Because they wish they had that same consistency. I used to do it too. I'd be like, man, I'd hate on, like, Tom Brady. Oh, yeah, Tom Brady. He has everything he needs. It's like, no, the guy was super disciplined. That's why he has what he wants. Like, it's like when you start realizing how hard people work to be there and you stop criticizing them, you start working hard too. But when you think everyone had it easy and you criticize them, then why would you work hard? So your mentality creates your workmanship. And if you believe that everyone just gets a golden spoon, then why would you ever try to curate something from scratch? You wouldn't, right? I'm just, I don't necessarily want to lose 450. I'd rather lose like 200. I know I am changing it up here, but I'm seeing weakening in the smaller time frames, and I'd rather trade big time tonight on the 1 hour, right? We had fun, don't get me wrong. We made a nice scalp trade, and it doesn't mean it's over. We're on this 21, but there's a chance this falls. You get a bit of a Bart Simpson here to the downside. So I'd be careful trading this, and again, don't do anything you see on YouTube. I am not a financial advisor. Nothing I'm saying should be taken as financial advice. Please get yourself a financial advisor. Do your own due diligence before getting into any project, coin, or trade. So yeah, like Bitcoin looks like it's slumping over here. And honestly, I really should just wait patiently for that 1 hour time frame to do its thing. And I'm starting to see a bit of a kind of almost like a head and shoulder slanted. 5 minute looks like shoulder, head, right shoulder. See that? Shoulder, head, right shoulder, dump to the downside. It could hold. There's no, Again, I never told you I'm 100% or I know everything Bitcoin's doing. Just because I hit some massive gains or I'm very consistent, I'm just trading probabilities, and the probabilities are playing out for me because I caught the trend the correct way. You got to read the trend. Once you know the trend's in your favor, you can do more gymnastics. It's just like surfing when there's tons of good waves coming in. That's the trend. When you have the waves coming in, the tide going in your favor, it's all moving. You got the trend. Spread your love every day. Tell everyone how much you love them. Feel free to use the word love. Push away the demons. They don't like that word. They don't like love. If you're full of love, light, and happiness, you're going to push away people that can't handle that. And if you push away the people that can't handle that, you're going to have a good life, because people that can't handle it, you don't want those people in your life. I'm sorry to say. Some of those people you do once they transition, and I'm not saying people can't change, but you don't want to be bogged down by low frequency. I'm telling you right now, I used to hang out with people that were dragging down my energy and not understand why. They could see how bright and light I was, and all they wanted to do was crush my light. They'd hang out with me, but still say mean things to me, put me down. And I don't know why I even considered, I didn't realize my self-worth. So that whole Irish guilt, you're born with sin, all that stuff. You grow up in the Irish community, and you basically grow up with some self, like, you know, almost a lack of self-worth. Not always, you know, not completely, but there's a, you know, some people know what I'm saying. I don't want to hate on any culture or idea, but it's just kind of how I grew up. And now I believe that God has given me the world, and the abundance should come into my life and my daughter's life and my wife's life and everybody in my circle. CryptoFace mentioned RCAT. Yeah, we'll take a look at that. Thank you. Shout out to Crypto Plumber. So we're watching to see if Bitcoin can hold 116.3. We're in the trade. Can it bounce? Sideways price action. Suspense here. Only time will tell. I'll stay long. Just kind of sharpened the risk a little bit here. Seems like we may be getting a bounce off the bottom of the trend. So I like the 1 hour. This could flip up bullish and then make a flag later on. Either way, that is definitely the model I would be looking for somewhere in the next 10 to 12 hours at the most. Love can change the world, man. You know, my favorite saying is, how come people don't think a few people are the ones that could change the world? Because that's all that ever did. Think about it. All the biggest movements, all the biggest ideas, they came from maybe a couple people in a room and said, let's do this. Next thing you know, they told someone else, and then it was 100, 500. Then it was a movement. 7 monkey syndrome or something, right? I'm probably saying it right, but that's the idea. And then it just blew up. And so most, revolutions, the big changing wills, new movement in medicine, Isaac Newton, it came from 1 or 2 people that went against the grain, said, no, I think it could be different. And then things started to change. So how come people don't think a few people could change the world? That's all that ever did, man. I love that saying. So remember, you go after it. You can do it. God bless you. So we got Bitcoin in a bit of a nutshell, right? We've done Bitcoin. I like what I'm seeing for BTC. Let's take a look at RCAT, Red Cat Holdings on the NASDAQ. Last time someone asked about it, I had this in this flag, previous support and resistance. Fell down when that market took a bit of a dip, and now it has a resistance too. They're at 997. So let's take a look. First thing you want to look at is the overall trend, which is in an uptrend. You see this? Bouncing off the clear uptrend. Then you want to find your resistance levels. And you can see we have this diagonal top here. Okay, so when I look at this closely, all right, RCAT, HEEHEE, Sol, and ETH, okay. To me, there could be just a very large consolidation here that could take its time. See? And it may be quicker. It could be something more like this. I'm not saying everything I say is 100% because the trend is kind of forming a little. But yeah, it says by late September, this thing may be ready to break out, and it's got a bigger move, right? Somewhere at about 24.53. That's like it looks like we could get there by December, January. It'd be so cool to watch. We'll put an alert on that, and we'll kind of keep that going throughout the next few weeks. See how that pans out. Your wisdom is priceless. Can you look at LTC? Shout out to Ola Seni. God bless you, man. Thank you so much for the love. Litecoin's been so hot recently. ETF talk, and it's just so, and I can't even, people are spitting out their coffee, but Litecoin has been so hot. I put out in this flag, it broke out and did damage on the daily. Litecoin, touching the 21, above the 200, golden cross approaching. This is what I go for. This is the game. And now we look at this. I don't love it for sure, but it's making a tight channel. And that just is likely to break out to the upside. Somewhere at about $140.86. So, yeah, Litecoin getting very, very tight. Breaks out, retest, breakout. I wouldn't be surprised if you could get in on this with a stop below the 200 moving average on the 1 hour time frame. 150 would be the target. Yeah, right there. It's a 3 to 1 risk reward ratio with a stop loss below 111. So on my channel, if you watch, I'll do stuff like this. I'll put a price note here. That's your stop, right? I'll put a price note here. That's the entry. and 148. Again, that just, how you would label it if you were going to use this stuff. I'm showing you how to use TradingView. This is educational TradingView knowledge here. How to label the stuff the way you want it so you can see it. Hold control, drag this down, you get another one. Now you're ready to rock. Litecoin looks bullish to me. I'm going to post that. I actually like that as a trade entry. Litecoin. Bitcoin looks like it's going to fall to the downside. Looks like it may not hold. Yeah, looking a little more bearish than bullish here. I'm going to stay off the small time frame for now, and I'm going to come back to Bitcoin on the 1 hour. I'm going to stop myself out nicely here. Make sure I'm up on gains for the day, and then I'll go from there. See how easy I do that without even thinking? It just, yep. And people get pissed, oh, but I have a plan. Like, you got to have your own plan too. If your plan is to follow me and it doesn't go the way you plan, then I don't know what to say. That wasn't the plan then, right? Hey, the plan was to, you know what I'm saying? As funny as that sounds, it's true, right? Litecoin looks interesting to me, to moi. I don't buy shoe, but it looks good to me over here. The bots are in. Let's look at my favorite meme coin of the day, and you know what it is. You know what it is, my favorite meme coin. DJI 6930. It was holding a $40 million market cap. Is it still holding? Let's see. With this Bitcoin pump, did it get any love last night? Ooh, it's still just sitting pretty at $40 million market cap. I tell you what, that looks like a descending triangle to me. These mainly dump to the downside. So I got to tell you that TA looks like it's going to dump. I don't like that. I don't like to say, be the bearer of bearish news. What would be cool, though, if it just dumps. We pull the Fibonacci here. And yeah, it comes back down to like the 786, which looks likely. And then it makes a massive breakout. So it does one of these. It had a huge pump, so you want it to reverse back to the 786 to be bullish. So don't be scared if it does dump, because it looks like it may. And we want that 786 bounce, and then boom, new all-time high to 12.13 cents. So that's what I see happening for this thing. And again, it could also just go right to zero. It's a meme coin. You never know. You always have to be on the look of it, just in case. All right. So that's it. So I see the 1 hour for Bitcoin. Looks interesting. Wow, they bounced it here. They didn't get me, which is kind of crazy. I thought for sure I got stopped out. And I did not. Look at this. I was like by an inch of my life. Look at this. Oh my gosh, that's insane. Look. Look at this. I've never seen that close. I was at 171.20 and went to 173.30. $2 away, and they bounced that thing. You never know today. It's one of those days, man. The small time frames could break out. I trust more likely that the 1 hour will pan, but you just never know. Why did they go up and down and not decided to go up and down? Hey, ENA spot trade looks good on the daily. Shout out to my man. Thank you for saying that. Let's take a look at the super chats and everyone that's coming on into the channel. Thank you so much. Shout out to all the new people here. Everyone, we're on our way to 100,000 subscribers, and we are dang close, baby. It is insane how close we are. So Reliable J started it off giving memberships, which is amazing. Thank you, Reliable J. God bless you, brother. Looking fresh. God bless. Jesus loves you, GOAT. Thank you. No dramas, mate. Jesus is King. Be humble. Paul Wood, we love you. Hey, Sam, HEEHEE plus flagging out on the daily. Let's take a look at HEEHEE. I don't know much about HEEHEE. I don't know what it is, where it is. HEEHEE. He, right? No, I'm just making a joke, but HEEHEE. Let's take a look at it on deck screen, or maybe it's, And again, I don't condone this. If I see something, I'm going to move on. If it's just HEEHEE. I mean, it has a tiny market cap of 2 mil. Fell down, went sideways. I mean, you would expect it to bounce off this bottom if you really want to believe in it. You can almost say there's a hidden algorithmic, Adam and Eve right there. These have been known to play out somewhere to, what, I don't know, 0.1051. It's possible, right? HEEHEE, I don't know. It's up to you, man. A giant double bottom, though. I guess if you want to take the risk, I think I'm all set. But it looks interesting. I'll give you. It's not the worst. Bitcoin. The bounce is in, maybe. Still in the trade. Can you believe it? We could still maybe take these gains, baby gains. So I live by the seat of my pants, as you can see, and you never know. Hey, brother, can we take a look at Sol? Bless you. Shout out to Luca. Strongalos. Luca, we love you, man. Thank you for being here. God bless you, brother. Sam, may you take a look at ETH. God bless everybody here. We'll take a look at Ethereum. Thank you so much. And we'll take a look at Solana. Let's take a look at Sol. Litecoin looks beautiful to me. Let me double check that out. Yeah, I posted that to the trading group there in the alt section. XRP, only a matter of time as well for me. Looks like it may do some damage. We'll talk about that in a second. So let's take a look at the Sol chart. The leader, the king of the alts, Solana. The biggest, the best, the quickest chain in the game away. The fastest gun in the West. Solana. So Solana. Remember, that 3-day cup and handle is what is really our saving grace here. Kind of daily cup and handle. And the Stokes want to point out RSI, and so does the MACD. So I would watch the daily and the daily only. Entry here. Stop loss somewhere below that POC at 145. And we're going at 264. That is my Solana call. That is my Solana trade. Above the 200 moving average. It's going to take its time. Tried and true. Over, if it loses the 200 and this trend line, it becomes a whack. We don't want to see that. We're going to be fighting not to make that happen. It won't be a laughing matter if you get liquidated. So, hey, Sammy, why you gotta be so harsh? No, seriously though, because I don't want to see people get liquidated. All right, you can get stopped out all you want, but please, liquidated shorts over here. So look, we're oversold on the Ethereum daily chart. ETH's almost right back to where it was. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It just gave a dip by at about 334. And again, remember I said liquidations below 3,300. It never went below 33. So if you're in an ETH trade, you are still strong and long, baby. And this thing could continue to move to the upside now. So ETH looking interesting to moi. And I would have put it past the pump all the way to 5,500 by the beginning of September. I mean, that would be boss, right? So this is what I see happening for Ethereum, and I'm with it. And again, bigger time frames, bigger outlook. Don't want to get caught up in the small sauce here. Floki and ONDO listed on Robinhood, huge. Will you look at it? We'll take a look at Floki. I don't like to do two super chats, to ask a super chat. Kind of. Hey, just noting my bot closed some longs and yours didn't. I made some updates to the settings with the team and have secured some gains. Not financial advice, nothing I say or do. Sam the man. The bot's hot. God bless you, Matt. Thank you. Can you check pump token? Thank you. Yeah. ENA spot trade looks good on the daily. We'll take a look at that. So Floki, I wanted to see it bounce right there. It did not, but it extended the cup and handle, went back to a fib. Felt like it had a retrace almost all the way back to its 200 moving average. Oh, we're not not the worst. And then we could say this flag looks like it's about to break out. So what I'm looking for is this. Stops below the 618 fib. Ready for the rippage. So like Floki looks good to me. Even a stop, like you can hug a stop right below the 200 moving average. Right there. So this is what I'm seeing. Floki looks hot. The altcoins look really hot. That dip was a dip, but it seemed like it was a dip for buying. Floki looks interesting to me, so I stay believing that we will have some type of miraculous alt season here at one point. That is a belief. Like, you got to believe at one point. And now I say don't believe, but there's TA. I mean, the TA suggests things, but you got to believe that, after all the TA, 5, 6, 7 months from now, things will play out. Yeah, I like what I'm seeing for Floki and on Robinhood. That's a great sign. Open up to more retail investors, more people looking for it. Can't complain. ONDO, last time we talked about it was the entry right here at 94. It has since pumped up to 99 and continued above the 200 moving average. Stochastics just cooking, everything looking great. RSI, MACD, I see this thing headed to 147, and it's only a matter of time. ONDO breaking out. Remember, I put out these calls that it takes a long time for them to finally do their thing. They don't happen overnight. You've got to be patient. Everyone expects the money to come immediately. It just doesn't happen like that. It never has. It never will. All right? Bitcoin still flip-flopping around here inside of this channel. Very tight. I'm playing it a little too close to the bone here on this 5-minute flag for Bitcoin. Good consolidation, though, for sure, for BTC. I think the odds are more likely I'll get stopped out. I'll be surprised if I get to stay in that trade. Someone asked about ENA, which I like and have a bag of ENA. Athena. You know, I like this daily flag on the 21. I like how it's touching above the 200 moving average. To me, I see this kind of as a breakout right now as we speak. So bullish, right? And again, the 21 above the 200 moving average. You could even bring this up and make it more of a flag like this. But that 4 hours says you're about to get a huge pump for ENA. Stop below that support line. I got myself another trade here. So there's a lot of action in the price. It's good. I mean, there's a lot of good price and there's a lot of good price action out here. And you can see the setups. They're the same, really, no matter what you're trading. Gold, silver, NASDAQ. It's all the same. And if you take a hit, you take a hit. You just proper risk management. It's called a P&L for a reason, not a P&P. No P&P, sir. No P&P. Profit and profit. It's a profit and loss. A little bit of both. Probably more of the P. Doesn't sound right. Sounded horrible. More profits. More profits. Okay, let's take a look. Hey, as long as I can make you laugh at my expense, that's all that matters. That's all that matters. Casper is getting stable coins and smart contracts in weeks. Casper will take over. It's inevitable. I can't wait. Liver, could you check XYO and Bunker? Maybe. We got some stuff to check out now here on Coin Market Cap. So let's take a look at what's strong today and what's hot, what's not. MemeFi is up a little bit there. All right. Boss up huge. Useless token in 79%. In the last 1 hour, we have Mint up. And that's been booming up 19%. Mantle pumped up on FLOKI doing some damage. Pendle. So you can see DeFi taking a bit of a move back. Hyperliquid. I'm going to show, let's talk about Hyper. Tron looks good to me. ONDO back above $1 would be awesome. Sky taking those gains. Pax G. Right? And everything kind of coming back slightly, but not amazing. It's not all there just yet. We're getting closer though. All right. Bitcoin pushing up. I like what we're seeing here. Now we're only down 16. This was like 100, you know. We'll see. This is getting very tight. Good chance we win this trade. Kind of a cup and handle there brewing. Bit of an inverted head and shoulder that played out too as well. See, that was a shoulder head. I call that the flamingo head and shoulder because it kind of looks like a flamingo flying. Then we looked at Crypto Rank, and I always like to see, you know, what coins are out there, what's happening. And so I look at the trending cryptos. Layer 0 comes up every day. ENA, MYX Finance. Remember that thing did, I don't know, man. Towns on the radar now. SWE, Succinct, which is proved. Never heard of it. Now you have. Eclipse, Treehouse. Looked at that a bunch of times now. Starknet, Gaia, Arbitrum, Barachain, Hyperliquid, ONDO, ZK Sync. Refacta is a new coin out. Talax, Infinite. That coin actually moving in. Innovincens. Base Troll. Troll was hot. Right Protocol. Ibiza Final Boss, right? Edward Corostine. Illusions of Life. Interesting. And then the most visited, those are all the newer coins, just, you know. Most visited coins. Unich, never heard of it. I would write that down. Add it to your watch. Like, I got to research this week. Succinct, write that down. Prove. Billions Network, write that down. Interlink Labs, write that down. Okay? Open mind. Stable. I liked it because NA means this is what happened. Remember, we found Zora NA and all this stuff. Next thing you know, they're doing 10Xs, 20Xs. Bitcoin looking very healthy. May really begin to pump on the daily time frame and just really take this whole day by storm. We may never get that 1 hour exactly the way I'm promoting it. So that's why I've got this, or projecting it. That's why I've got this trade open here on the smaller time frame. And wow, we've been kind of managing this trade pretty well here with good risk. I'm live trading here on BitTinex. It was the BitTinex week. Just a lot of good scalps came at us, so I took advantage of them. Sent you an email live for Will Be Great to Connect. Shout out to Olaseni. God bless you, man. Thank you. Saying, can you please check gold locally 1 to 5? Looking for that scalp. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Gold on the 1 to 5 minute time frame. Let's take a look at gold. Gold, baby, gold. Let's take a look at that 5 minute for you for gold. I mean, it's in this flag here. Looking to react. It could go either way. It's somewhat symmetrical, but you are getting kind of a bullish move here. And we'll look at the DXY in a second to complement this idea. But that's what you would be looking for, right? 34.14. Tightness in here. Retest. Boom up. Maybe even a resistance there and then a boom out. And then 34.10. If you like the streams, you'll love being in the 99. Join us at CryptoLifer.com. We're there all the time, every single day. 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning. You name it. And look, right here, you can just click on the link that he put out. Just like I did, it takes you to CryptoLifer.com. There I am. Unlock financial freedom today. Get the education and find your way to a whole new beginning in your life. I did. I clicked on a link to a trading group. Here I am. 8 years later now. That's insanity to me. And I was trading 7 years before that, but I had a mentor now that really was able to push me. My mentor, he taught me the ropes of trading, but I had been trading before. I added what he taught me for sure. I'm not saying he didn't give me a lot. He's amazing. He passed away since, so regardless, he gave me everything he had. But what he really gave me was the ability to show up every single day for myself. Was the ability to find out what true consistency was. He was the most consistent person I had ever met in my life. He didn't take a day off for like 5 years straight. God bless my brother Chris, man. And he showed me the way. He created the lifer. Without him, he mentored me to greatness. He mentored me exactly where I chose to be. I found someone that was where I wanted to be in life. Bought a Lamborghini, had multiple homes, stacking millions of dollars. Everything seemed to be going his way. I mentored under him. I worked for him. I never said a word for 4 years. I grinded. You understand? And I learned his consistent nature. I learned how he moved. I learned how you had to be to win. I saw how tough winners were. I said, wow, if I want to be in the winner's circle, I got to be in the top 1% of producers. I got to be working so much harder than I ever thought hard work was. This morning, up in the morning, building the new studio, getting everything ready. Had a few glitches, made sure they were ready at the last minute. It's just like you don't stop. You want to stop, but you can't. You keep pushing every single day, no matter what, until the game is over. The Patriots, all 4 quarters, man. Not 1 quarter, not 2 quarters, not 3 quarters. You don't win the game in 3 quarters. You got to put in all 4. You can ruin 3 quarters of hard work by being sloppy in the 4th quarter. Agreed? It's the same thing in trading. You can ruin 4 months of great trading by being sloppy for 1 month. You can win 3 days of great trading by being sloppy for a day. Heck, you can ruin 3 hours of great trading by being sloppy for a minute. Let that sink in. That was hard. Right? No. But seriously, that is what we're talking about here on the channel. Being consistent is the hardest thing in the game. Most people go home empty-handed when they finally go all in because they don't have the discipline to realize that it might take 2 years to make 10 grand a month. You know what I'm saying? It might take 4 to 5 years to get to 20 grand a month trading. It may not happen overnight, but once you're there, man, you're there for life. What hit me one day when I was struggling in life and was like, I didn't want to put in the work. Finally, when I did and I realized how far I got, I said, man, you just had to put in the work for 4 or 5 years and you were going to get there. You were just so afraid of getting started even for 3 weeks that you couldn't even get going for a month. And we're all in our own heads all the time. Everybody here has been in their own head this week a little bit. You got to talk your way out of that. You got to find a mentor. You got to get disciplined. You got to work out. Working out works yourself out of your head. You get out of all those thoughts that you're having. They don't make sense anymore when you're working out. Look at this. The trade flipped green. It was down 150 bucks. Doesn't mean we're going to win it, but amazing that we're still in it. And that's a beautiful bull pennant. I mean, it's above the 200 moving average, touching the 21. By golly gee, oh my, that is supposed to pump. A little higher risk because I don't love where the 1 hour is, but man, it's above the 200 moving average. And we can get a crazy short squeeze now. Like a short squeeze that you just like shouldn't happen. Like a just straight right up to 175 or something. Again, there's more liquidity to the upside than to the downside, but the closest spot we want to go to is 117.5. It's looking like we're about to go to 117,500 and hit for some gains. But again, I could be wrong, and don't do what I'm saying. That's just what the charts might convey. I'm going by a chart probability that I've studied. You'd have to study it for yourself, and it would have to make sense to you the way it makes sense to me. So, you do you, I'll do me. We'll figure it out together here on the channel. Thank you for coming on in every single day, though. I appreciate it. Much love and respect to you and yours. We went through a lot of good super chats today. I really appreciate that. You people are bringing it in, bringing in the support, bringing in the love. And it's been a great stream. 1,515 beautiful souls. Let's get 1,000 likes, man. We were hitting 1,000 likes every single stream like it was butter. Ripping through it like butter. And I know we can do it again. Again. Shout out to anyone that woke up early with me. 3 in the morning, 5 in the morning. Heck. Shout out to anyone that already sold for gains today and you're kind of just sitting pretty. You don't even need to stress the rest of the trading day. You're good. You're where you need to be. You made gains for the day. You paid the trader. You stayed disciplined and you actually have something to show for it. It's one of the coolest feelings in the whole in your whole life, man. It's a great feeling. When the gains start pouring in from your discipline, you're going to want to be more disciplined, right? It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. It sucks you in. Once you're more disciplined, you stay more disciplined. Isn't that, I'm addicted to being disciplined now because I see the results. I know if I stay disciplined, I'm going to pull in on the biggest yacht in the bay. Why not? I know if I stay disciplined, my life will only go higher. Why the heck wouldn't I stay disciplined though? There's going to be times of discouragement. I may not get as many views as I thought. It may look like my channel's going down. I may get in my head. I got to push through no matter what. Those are the days I have to work out, shrug it off, and keep moving. Get out of my thoughts, get out of my emotions, and start becoming something every single day. It's just as hard for me as it is for you. No one gets a free ticket just because they've done 1,700 and some odd episodes. I got to do the next 1,700 episodes now. You see what I'm saying? We only set the bar higher than we had. It didn't really... You think you got somewhere once you made it. You realize now you just have to work that hard to keep it. Amen. So... There's no free rides even for me. Remember, I'm on the same tightrope you are. It just looks better. You know what I'm saying? It just seems nicer here. It's smoke and mirrors. Okay? And at the end of the day, what do I have? More material things than most? So what? More suits, jackets than most? A couple watches, you know what I mean? Like, do I have the love? Do I have the respect? That's what matters. When people come up to me and say, I love your channel, you changed my life. That's what matters. All this other stuff could disappear. And you can always buy it again, so it can be replaced. What can't be replaced is your reputation. My dad always said, I'm Aim You Sam Price. You have one name. Don't do anything to ruin it. Not on this channel, not for exchanges, not for these little coins. No way. People hit me up, we have I do, and what I like is there's less and less of that now than there ever was. But I'll never promote a coin on you. Like if I'm in a coin, it's because I like it on TA or I bought it. Someone sends a super chat and we go over it. That's it. I'm not showing you something on the back. Oh, by the way, I got $5,000. I'm going to make this coin. I don't do that. I'm not going to do it. And I promise on my heart and soul that I'm going to stay true to this channel and true to you. So I like this here. And again, it was rampant 2018, 17, 19. I was watching the channels before I even came in and it was pretty crazy, right? So I'm still looking for this, yet though this looks interesting too. So we're kind of right where we've been. You either have the guts to take the 5 minute or you're waiting on the 1 hour. I think those are the two positions to be in today. Anything else I think is a bit frivolous because these are the things that are going to play out the first. But again, you do you. You might be shorty. Who knows what you're up to? I don't know what people were doing. I'm not, So let's take a look now at the have-tos, right? A little bit of the total market cap for cryptocurrency. It's a beautiful pump for total. So let's kind of go over this idea here and see what happened to the total market. What is total? Total is the entire market cap of all of cryptocurrency. All right, it's all the hot dogs. It may be missing some littler ones, right? But it has the main staples, the meat and potatoes of the alt and Bitcoin and Ethereum industry, right? Together, they make up the bigger industry. So, where are we going? Are we going to recover? So far, this bounce has been absolutely beautiful. The break back above resistance has been clutch. We hold $3.5 trillion in market cap. Amazing. And we're getting tighter into the channel. We'd like this to come up. Right shoulder. Dabble, dabble. And we are gone to the upside. So we're looking for this shoulder. Head. Right shoulder. Possible retest and a liftoff that sends this whole market up to $5.85 trillion. Where do I get $5.85 trillion? How do I come up with this sauce? It's the measured move from this wick to that wick. You can see the trajectory is to the upside there. That 45-degree angle, really. And there you are at $5.85 trillion, suggesting a big pump is coming for Bitcoin. Bitcoin starting to get hot and heavy right now at 116,550 yet again. Can I get the call? It looks sketchy, but now, don't you see a double bottom? I do. Now it's very likely, more likely we're going to win this trade. Look, 1, 2, and then that's a double bottom too. I see like almost a guarantee now based on the technical analysis that we go up to 117.2. But nothing's guaranteed, but the TA is like screaming that we're like 80% more likely to go up than down. We're starting to bridge liquidity, which means you can see we're making a bridge up to 117.5. It's a really good sign that we'll clear them out. This is BOOKMAP, link in the description below. I do get a commission from BOOKMAP if you use it. So what's going to happen here is price action is showing the liquidations that other people think are hidden. You're like, oh, I don't have a stop loss, so no one will get me. I'm on, but you're going to have a liquidation, so you're on the board somewhere, and you don't even know it. 117.445 is sitting pretty. We can see it all. There's a massive amounts of Bitcoin to be sold there. Does that mean it's going to happen for sure? No guarantees, but I just wanted to put that out there. So if you're thinking you're not going to get liquidated, we can see you. So those are shorts. People that are still in a short. People that think they caught the top, maybe added to it from 123 and think they're going to keep going lower. And like they just keep adding to the pumps. They think these little pumps are rejection points. They don't believe they're selling areas for the short. So this consolidation is, if I was in a short, I'd be a little more sketched out by this consolidation. It's more likely to pump than dump at this point. 21-day moving average above the 200 in the flag. That's the sauce. That's the sauciest recipe in the game right there for a possible pump. Target 46 cents. And I can see it. Can you believe it? Very, very possible. Looks likely for me too as well. It definitely looks like something could be happening. Bitcoin. Shaking and baking here on a beautiful, beautiful. Is today Thursday? Oh my God, it is. August 7th, 2025. Man, what a travel day I had yesterday. It was a long day of traveling. Insanity. I left the house. I live streamed till 11:15. At that exact moment left to get to a 12:20 boat. There was traffic where I was, which has never been there in 40 years. But I guess the island's getting, and we missed our boat. We called, they said 2:30. At that point, I did the math, and I was like, man, by the time we do all this stuff, I don't know if we'll be able to go to our old neighborhood and like see the old neighborhood. And Summer started to cry, my daughter. And my wife called again, and they said no. No, I said, I'm going to call one more time the last second, and I headed over to the boat. And they said, yeah, you got one, but it's OB at 1:15. And we caught the boat. It was like the luckiest thing in the world. You probably have no idea what I'm talking about, but anyway. So the whole point is I left the house at 11:30. We weren't on the boat to get off of the little island we were on until 1:15. Then I got to go through the city of Boston, get to my old neighborhood. We hung out for literally 30 minutes, said hi to the neighborhood, The kids ran around in the woods a little bit, and then we bounced. You know, and then we had to drive to a drop-off area near Logan, wait for them to kind of go over some paperwork, take a shuttle over to Logan Airport, which took a bit, you know, in traffic. And I was in traffic on the way there too. And go through security. I made a mistake in security I won't talk about, but I did. And then we figured it out and everything was fine. And then I got on the plane. And the plane was boarding at like 7:20 and I got there at like 7:10 to the gate. It was crazy. And then we flew, and then my friend drove me home from Tampa. And I got home at about 12:30 at night, and it started at about 11:30 yesterday. So it was a 12.5-hour journey. You know, obviously some stops in the middle that weren't, you know, a couple breaks. I got out of the car and stuff, so it wasn't the worst. It was a nice little breakup, but it was, you know, it was a journey nonetheless, man. And I'm home safe now. Okay, nobody cares, Sam. They want the money. They want the gains. They don't care. I know, but I want to talk about my life sometimes. I know, but Sam, they don't care, buddy. All right. 99,200 subscribers. Are you kidding me? 800 away from the goal of 100,000 I set 5 years ago when I started this channel. I'm going to 100K, and I'm not looking back. My goodness, we're going to do it. And this could go to 1 million. I mean, why not? Right? Let's keep pushing it. Shout out to everybody here that subscribed to this channel, that made something bigger than themselves, that got it going, that made it happen. I love y'all, baby. Let's go. Yes. Stay motivated. Stay pumped. Stay ready to go. Be a part of something bigger than yourself. Hit that subscribe button. Send that good karma my way, baby. I got 3 beautiful daughters, a wife. It's a family business. Every time you subscribe to the channel, you're helping out a small channel, a small business, baby. You know, build from scratch, from the heart. God bless everybody. Thank you so much. Look at those subscribers pouring on in. And I know we can do it. I know we can get all the way to the upside here and continue to pump. Thank you so much for anyone that even thinks of hitting that subscribe button. May God bless you and yours. Thank you. So total looking good to me. I'm looking for the right shoulder and a continuation pump. Once it breaks 394, we are Guan, baby Guan, to a new all-time high, right? Total's very close to a new all-time high. Am I wrong? Wait, let me make sure I may be speaking out. No, I mean, if you look at it, the highest it ever was right there in December of 2024. And now we're higher than that right now. So we're like, I mean, the highest we're very close to the highest the crypto market ever was. Once that breaks, the floodgates are open. And with talks of that rate cut coming on the CME watch tool, we start to build a picture of what's really going our way here. So I really, you know, this is starting to really begin to be the Let's take a look at total 3 here and see what's happening to total tree. Yeah, tree. How many tree over here? So what do I see happening to total 3? Well, 2 possible scenarios. That smaller flag like I had built right there, or just like this nice bigger flag inside. Let's delete everything and kind of look at it fresh again, but I got some tricks up my sleeve here for total 3. So right off the bat, we have the supportive resistance that did hold. We lost it, but we got back above it, and that was very key when we did that. This trend line beginning to form too as well, and then this top. So to me, it looks like we could get some consolidation in the altcoins before they decide to go on a massive, massive pump. So Bitcoin does its thing. Altcoins have the ability to go sideways, Sid's way, I say. I mean, hold on. I mean, that trend line broke out, and now you're flagging on it, right? To me, this is more likely, and now you have supportive resistance here. So I would actually flag this out and look for this to do damage. You can always see it differently when you differently see it. Huh. Oh, I got a hand cramp. Look at that. Isn't that cool when your hand cramps? Oh, that one hurts. I don't want that one anymore. Oof. Hand cramp. Hand cramp. Funny, you think my hands would cramp more with all the tea I do with them hands? He's good with them hands. That's what they say. Shout out to all the beautiful people out there on the live. Thank you for being here. So look, shoulder, kind of head, kind of a right shoulder. I'm looking for the daily to get tight in here. Really tight. Toiga. But that thing could moon. So, yeah, and again, I'm not saying this is guaranteed exactly the structure, but just looking for this type of thing, you know, a shoulder, kind of head, right shoulder, breakout for total 3 is really starting to build the idea that we could get a huge move to the upside on these altcoins. So now let's take a look at Tether dominance. We want to see the Tether dominance is starting to fall out that bear flag we talked about for Bitcoin's sake, for the altcoins. And that's kind of what we're seeing. 116,005 really wanting to hold here for Bitcoin. Looking like we may actually begin to pump from this area now that it's been like an hour and we've stayed beautifully flat on the 5-minute time frame. This is starting to catch, a pretty good look of a pump here to the upside Bitcoin. I like this. So Tether dominance falling out the bear flag as suggested. Doing exactly what we want it to be doing. I mean, this is clutch. Continue to fall down. Let these altcoins have their way. And then this isn't the best, but even if you look at it this way, you got this shoulder, kind of almost a head or right shoulder, right? That could be in for even more downside. But even more downside here, somewhere down to 3.2%. And that's beautiful. Let's take a look at Bitcoin dominance and see how that's building up. Falling out the flag as well, same idea. If Bitcoin dominance is going to fall, and Tether dominance is going to fall, and Bitcoin's going to pump with the altcoins, we got ourselves a little bit of altcoin season. Let's move into Ethereum. And this is going to be the full trifecta here. So ETH. Funny, looking for that inverted. See, I'm looking for this like shoulder head, a bit of a right shoulder there for ETH to stay inside. Another idea here is you have this diagonal trend that's forming. You fell out of the pocket. You're back inside. This is key. I never even thought of this here. I'll be honest, ETH looks more bullish though than I'm. Hold on one second here. I want to see this bigger than I'm seeing it. So I'm seeing some people say, well, ETH has hit resistance. It's time for it to come home and dump. At the same time, though, big boys are buying it, and it's starting to become more scarce on chain. You see? The ETFs and all that, and then now it doesn't make as much. And so it's, even though it has an infinite supply, it's starting to become a little scarce on chain. I kind of look at it like this. We had this beautiful trend line. We lost it. We came back inside. We got back above it again. And this thing is kind of starting to move off of the bottom, off of this top trend line to the upside. Now the 21, right? You can see there's a golden cross coming. So now I want to show me something on the daily. And the daily looks like bang. And maybe the daily keeps going. There's a chance it just pumps and pumps and pumps. I don't know. But it's more probable that we make this right shoulder come back into the fold here and to get the bigger pump. This is more likely, but I'm not saying it's guaranteed at all. But that's what I want to see for Ethereum. So ETH still looking good to me. Off that $2,100 dip buy there. Been pumping ever since. Crossed the 200 moving average on the daily. That is the buy. Whenever something closes the candle above the 200, it's ready. Bitcoin getting the pump to the upside. Another winning position so far, as it did break out 116,693. Chance we can just add to our previous win. This is awesome. Stop loss. I can't wait to get it to break even. But things are starting to go our way here. 15-minute beginning to break out again. Stochastic saying yes. 21-day moving average touching above the 200. This is my signal. The 21-day moving average is touching a flag. Low stochastics pushing up above the 200 moving average. You're touching the 21 above the 200 stochastics. That's all I really need. And then give me a pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 things. And I'm in there like swimmer. RSI curving up is awesome. Falling volume with falling price suggests you can get a reversal. 116,687 for Bitcoin. Up 9% in the second live trade of the day. Almost got stopped out closely, but we still continued to move. Gotta love it, baby. Gotta love it. Shout out to anyone that joins me in trades where I trade. I trade on MEXC. I trade on Weeks. I trade on Bitinex and BTC.C. Favorite 3 exchanges in the game. Look, this looks like a flag here that's going to do damage on the daily. That's just like, that's out, right? That's gone. Pump. That could start the pump right now as we speak. Take the daily at 141K, baby. And I got this. I'm going to ride this one all the way. Why not? Let's take it all the way to the upside. I'm still in some longs that I'm willing to hold. They at 108 liquidation. And so, hey, let's keep it on, baby. Let's keep it on. 141,000 for Bitcoin. Stop loss below 108.5. Entry around now. It is buying a breakout. But, hey, man, that daily looks like it is breaking out to the upside. Gold is pumping. Everything's starting to move in our favor here to the upside for Bitcoin. Leave of the show now. I'm about to show you something interesting here as we kind of move into the hottest part of the show. All right. Hey. Let's get back into the chat. And usually there's some insight here from the chat too as well. When you get to 100K, you will then want to go to 200K. I plan to be around for that. It will be 73, and I will be 73 in October. How old will I be when Sammy hits 200,000 subscribers? And let's get back to that poll. Did I make Jamie laugh or at least smile? Highly unlikely. 31% maybe not, maybe yes. And 22% said for sure. Well, end that poll, man. Thank you for jumping on in. If you know Jamie and me, that was just a fun little game there. God bless you all. 686, right? No stop, drop, shut up now and open up shop. You're funny. We went to 80K, Bears said short. Went to 100K, still short. Went to 120K, still short. Are they blind to the major uptrend? Isn't that funny when they continue to short the market? I never understood that either, but hey, they produced that fire that gives us that pump. Shout out to the 1,555 people here on the live. How much do you chart? I chart till I cramp, baby. I know, right? I chart till my hand falls. Keep sharing that life or wisdom. It's priceless. God bless you. That's so nice of you to say. That really makes me want to show up every single day and keep pushing. Thank you for these super chats. Some new coins. Swift. Okay, thank you. I'll look at those myself. Can you look at Kita? Kita was hot. Did it get the bounce we were looking for back then when we talked about it? Can you take a peek at Colonel Dow? Yeah. Thanks for the consistent shows. What do you think about CVX? Convex Finance, right? Send you an email. Life would be great to connect. God bless you. My wife will look at all things, and then if it makes sense, she'll let you know. So let's take a look at CVX and Colonel Dow. Bitcoin sitting at 116,636. Ethereum looking interesting. It's Convex Finance, CVX here, and it is on MEXC. It's around the bend. All right. First thing I do is I look at the daily, and I can see previous support becomes resistance. And we got a bit of a bounce here to the upside. Weekly had a resistance here at 5.68. Almost making a right shoulder there on the daily though, right? Like you see how it could be a head and shoulder? I know it's more towards the bottom than other coins. It's got a possible uptrend here. It really has to bounce and make that ascending triangle. If it bounces and I see it consolidate, then yeah, it's gonna basically make the argument that it wants to pump. Watch out for that right shoulder dump down there. It could happen. It looks more likely it's gonna pump with the rest of the market, but you never know. I think there's better charts out there right now, but you do whatever makes you happy there. CVX. Let's take a look at Kernel. Kernel's been hot on and off. Colonel Dow here on MEXC. So last time we put it out, I called for a pump there to 24. It did that, and then it dumped all the way back down. Let's take a look. That was August 4th on Monday, and it did the damage. Came back down. What I like about Colonel Dow right now is this upper trend line. So look. That trend line, this trend line, and they meet here in the middle. Starting to show that symmetrical triangle with the higher low. that mathematical cup and handle. That has a measured move all the way to about 41 cents and 6/10 of a cent. Look for it to get back above 21 and then a resistance at about 25. But yes, I mean, this coin has been hot. That resembles the cup with a handle there. That could do damage too as well. I'd like the bounce in the consolidation, bounce in the retest. Conservative trader buys here in the consolidation and here on the retest. Risky trader buys right now. Depends on who you want to be. Higher risk, high reward. The risky trader makes more. This trader probably wins more because they're less likely to get stopped out, but doesn't make as much on each trade. See, it's like I'd rather have more guaranteed smaller trades than risk bigger ones all the time that I was less sure about, right? I'd rather play a sure bet that paid less than a bigger bet that was more unsure but paid more, right? And I'd rather just keep doing the pay less move over time till you're paid, right? Eventually you'll get paid if you're consistent, and I believe that. KERNEL looks good to me. I think it looking for a bounce, tight moving averages. All kind of looking pretty good. I'm going to put an alert there for myself even. For KERNEL DAO. Thank you. Bitcoin back to 16575 though, attempting not to really want to hold the zone. More sideways price action it would look like, just like this here on the four more, what, 1, 2, 3, 4 more 15-minute candles there. Could come on in. 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5. So on that 15-minute rejection now, and we're only up, $19. It's not an amazing, it's been a tighter trade, and it is Thursday. Thursdays around noontime, it starts to dry out. Price action gets tight. It's not that easy to make the gains anymore. The mornings are awesome. Remember that. The mornings are awesome. The 1 hour is still in our favor. Remember how I planned out that 1 hour with the 21. That's all still there. Go back if you don't know what I'm saying. I probably show it again if you need. But that's the key to today. I really gave you the sauce to how to trade Bitcoin today. It's already been given. Let's take a look at KETA. How much do you charge? Yeah. Keep sharing that lifer wisdom. It's priceless. God bless you. Thank you so much for saying such nice things to the lifer. You people are awesome. Wouldn't want to be anywhere else. KETA. We found this thing when it was tiny. It was 12 cents when I first found it. It's back at $1.12. It had bounced off at 618 golden pocket and continuing to rip. Now it's making a bigger channel. Because it's so hot, I would suggest that KETA does continue to pump. But for KETA to hit that all-time high of 170 and continue to rally. Wow, this thing is hot. If you just held it through the dumps and the bumps, man, this thing is so hot right now. KETA, baby, KETA. So I like what I'm seeing for KETA. It looks good to me too. And KETA could do some serious damage to the upside. Was expecting someone, don't see them yet, so that's a good sign. I'd like to see them in a little bit, though, if we could. Let's see. Oh, yes. All right. Anyway, shout out to all my beautiful people here on the live. Thank you for working through these awesome trades. Sam, can we look at Dogecoin? Fam OG writes, Sam, hey, Sammy, can we look at Dogecoin with a $5 super chat? Hey, man, that's so nice of you to give. You didn't have to, but you did. We got 20 new memberships, $83 in chat revenue. You people are blessed for giving. You didn't have to give, but you did. You made my day amazing, right? Gave me a purpose, showed up. The channel went amazing. The stream went absolutely swimmingly. And I'm blessed to be alive with each and every one of you. What a blessing it is to have a YouTube channel, right? To have an influence over the world, to be able to do what you want from your home. Thank you, dear Lord, for this. I've always dreamed of it, and I got things that I dreamed of. And that's how I'm a firm believer that you create your reality, because how the heck did I end up doing what I wanted to do with my life? Or desired to do. I don't like to use the want as much, but I desired to change my life, desired to do something different, and here I am. Wow, looks like we're getting the pump again here. This one may clean house. The way it's got that wick, just boom. I would brace yourself for a massive squeeze up to 118,000 faster than fast. But hey, you never know. Right? You never know. Boom, boom, I never knew it. Okay, so Bitcoin about to pump out the flag. Looking interesting. What would follow? Again, I have a hot instinct on a coin that I absolutely love. The one coin I bought the most of during this last dump was SEI. I keep stacking this coin on the low. I keep believing that there's going to be this shoulder. Look at this inverted head and shoulder about to do damage. Shoulder. Head. Right shoulder. Flag. Bang. Bang. And that thing goes all the way to about 35 cents. I see that happening sooner than later. I do own the coin, so I'm more bullish on it. And I'm like, yo, wake up, let's get the move. But SEI looks beautiful there on the 4-hour time frame. Bullish divergence, inverted, head and shoulder. Stop below the point of control at 28 cents. Looks like this thing could do damage. Cheese, baby. Smile. Cheese. Let's take a look at Dogecoin. Doge, baby, Doge. So I talked about Doge breaking out of this cup and handle just a couple days, last night even, right? There it is on its way. It's going to 22 cents, and then I see it continuing to the upside. That bounce off 18, and then Doge finding that higher low and continuing to pump. And I think Doge could do a big number here. And the measured move is the length of this whole thing out of this bigger cup and handle. And that sends Doge to 35 cents. And I wouldn't be surprised if it can make it to the all-time high there of that last cycle, 48 cents. Had to have been, what, March of 2024, December of 2024, yeah. So I still got faith Doge will go, and my next target is 35 cents for Dogecoin. And it's just getting started, about to do damage. I like what I'm seeing. For Doge, you're spot on there, my friend. Bitcoin, 116.7, showing signs of life. This looks like it's going to do it. I'm calling for a pump here for Bitcoin. We're still in it now, and everything's starting to go our way, baby. Up 10% on the trade. I told you I'm the king of 3%. No one makes 3% more than I do over here. Hey, shout out to BitTinex. Beautiful interface, fast-moving price action, diligent, connected. I'm live streaming. I got BOOKMAP open. I'm using all the internet. It's still ripping to the upside. I do have a really good internet connection. Things are going awesome. So thank you, Comcast. We appreciate that. God bless anyone that works for them and makes it happen here in Florida, because that's my life and I appreciate that. We have the sun coming in today, so I'm sorry. It's going to have a little bit of a contrast and kind of drown me out there. But I wanted to make sure that I wasn't missing the water guy. I just got home. We got some leakage. We got something going on we got to pay attention to, and we got to address it, which is sad. But hey, there's always something that goes on. We'll figure it out for the next time so it won't be as bad, right? And we'll figure that out. But blessings to everybody out here. Thank you for sharing your most precious asset with me, and that is your time. I'll be going through altcoins throughout the day, throughout the night. I put out a bunch in the last couple of weeks that are still looking pretty interesting. Bitcoin may continue to move. I'm in a long right now that I showed you, and that we've been in together this whole time if you had traded with me. And we look at BOOKMAP one last time. It does suggest we could go lower down to 112,000, but anything is possible, right? Right now it's saying it wants to hit at least 117.5 first, and then maybe we go further, like we go up, and then that's kind of the bearish div down. So I'm looking for the move somewhere up to 117.5. I don't know if we'll get to 119.4. That would be a beautiful, likely story, but it'll be awesome. XRP, the banker's coin, as SE drops is expected any day now. Yeah, I see a pump for XRP. And I gave that update this weekend, right? So I see XRP about to break out here to the upside and do serious damage. Again, it's kind of a symmetrical triangle. I feel like it already broke out. See this? Above the 200 with the breakout. And you can look at it two ways. So you can also look at this bigger flag. $4, and I even see a $5 when I take the whole flag, right? And so conservative, targets are like 331. a previous high right there, 365, but then $4, right? XRP looks bullish. To me, you could even say it broke out. It broke out already. You see that? And now we look for the 1 hour to the 1 hour would be cool if it does something like this. Cross attempting to break out there. My finger slipped though, so no stress. But we'd be looking for something like this on the 1 hour. And it says again, like tonight, 8 hours from now, everything's going to start pumping. Tonight could be the night and we get this weekend pump again. And we start to kind of grow out of this summer doldrum and get ready for that September rate hike action hack move. Everybody, I love you. God bless each and every one of you for an amazing live stream. This is one of the best I ever had. Back home in my regular studio, I'm standing up. I was in a sit-down desk for the last week. My back was killing me. I had to do what I had to do to get it done, though, and I did. May God bless you all. Thank you so much for being absolutely amazing, supportive, super chats, likes. You hit the you guys even hit the poll there, and you traded live with the lifer. If you did, God bless you. And remember, I watched all these multi-billionaires. I looked at all the clues that they left, and millionaires and people that really just, even people that didn't make money but did what they wanted with their lives, if money wasn't the case, but created legacies and belief systems. And you know what I found out is they all had the same secret to success. Every single one of them. And you know what the secret to success? You know what the secret to success was? It was getting started.